Good day everyone, I'm Teacher Justin, and for today we're going to talk about writing quadratic equations in standard form given the roots. So, how do we write quadratic equations in standard form given the roots? So, if we're given the roots of the quadratic equation, ang gagawin natin is we need to identify the sum and product of our roots. So, kunin natin yung sum and product ng given na roots natin. So, for example, we have negative 4 and 9. So, kunin natin yung sum niya. So, we will add the roots and then yung product nila, which is we multiply the roots. Okay, so let's get the sum of the roots by adding negative 4 and 9. So, negative 4 plus 9 is 5. So, that will be our sum. For the product naman, we multiply negative 4 and 9. So, negative 4 times 9 will give us negative 36. Now, after getting the sum and product, ang formula natin in writing our equation will be x squared minus sx plus p is equal to 0. So, yung sum natin, isa-substitute lang natin dun sa s. Yung product natin, isa-substitute lang natin sa p. So, let's substitute our given. So, we will have x squared minus 5x plus negative 36 is equal to 0. So, now let's simplify the signs. So, negative times positive is negative. Positive times negative will be negative. So, yung equation natin will be x squared minus 5x minus 36 is equal to 0. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Let's find the quadratic equation given the roots positive, negative 6. So, itong positive, negative 6 na to, we have positive 6 and negative 6 as our roots of this quadratic equation. So, para isulat natin yung ating quadratic equation, we have to identify the sum and the product of our roots. So, simulan natin by getting the sum of our roots. So, yung sum natin is 6 plus negative 6. So, 6 plus negative 6 is 0. So, that will be our sum. Now, yung product naman natin, let's multiply positive 6 and negative 6. 6 times negative 6 will be negative 36. Now that we have our sum and product, gamitin natin tong formula na to, x squared minus sx plus p is equal to 0 to write our quadratic equation. Okay, so let's substitute the sum and product. So we will have x squared minus 0x plus negative 36 is equal to 0. Now let's multiply the sign. Negative times 0 is 0. Positive times negative will be negative. So this will give us x squared minus 36 is equal to 0. So this will be our quadratic equation that will produce positive negative 6 as our roots. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Let's find the quadratic equation of this given roots, which is negative 8. Now, since we have a single root here, always remember, in a quadratic equation, meron tayong dalawang roots. So, this negative 8 will just give us 2 negative 8s. Okay, so, let's write this in quadratic equation. So, kunin natin yung sum nila and yung product nila. So, let's get the sum. The sum will be negative 8 plus negative 8. That will give us negative 16. Now, yung product naman, let's multiply negative 8 by negative 8. That will give us positive 64. Now, since nakuha na natin yung ating sum and product, we can now use the formula x squared minus sx plus p is equal to 0 in writing our quadratic equation. So, let's substitute their value. So, we will have x squared minus negative 16x plus 64. Now, let's multiply the sign. So, negative times negative will be positive. So, magiging x squared plus 16x plus 64 is equal to 0. And that will be our quadratic equation. Alright, tada! Let's find the quadratic equation given the roots negative 1/4 and 3/4. So, in writing our quadratic equation, kailangan natin kunin yung sum and product ng ating roots. So, let's get the sum first. So, add natin si negative 1/4 plus 3/4. So, negative 1/4 plus 3/4 will be 2 over 4. And 2 over 4 can be simplified to 1/2. So, yan yung ating sum. Punta naman tayo sa ating product. So, for our product, let's multiply negative 1/4 and 3/4. So, negative 1/4 times 3/4. Remember, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, it will give us negative 3 over 16. So, ito yung ating magiging product. Now, pag nakuha na natin yung sum and product natin, we will now use the formula x squared minus sx plus p is equal to 0 to write our quadratic equation. Now, substitute natin yung sum and product natin. So, our equation will now be x squared minus 1 half x plus negative 3 over 16 is equal to 0. Okay, so notice that our numerical coefficient of x and our constant term is fraction. So, kailangan nating tanggalin yung ating denominator. So, to remove our denominator, kailangan nating kunin yung least common denominator ng ating mga fraction. So, we have 2 and 16 as our denominator. So, ang least common denominator nila is 16. So, we have to multiply both sides by 16 para matanggal yung ating denominator. Now, let's apply the distributive property. So, 16 times x squared will be 16x squared. 16 times 1 half will be 8. 16 times 3 over 16 will be 3. So, yan yung magiging equation natin. So, our equation will now be 16x squared minus 8x minus 3 is equal to 0. So, that will be our quadratic equation. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Let's write the quadratic equation that will give us the roots positive, negative, square root of 3. So, para masulat natin to in quadratic equation, ang gagawin natin is we have to identify the sum and product of our roots. So, kunin muna natin yung sum ng ating roots. So, to get the sum, we get square root of 3 plus negative square root of 3. So, their sum will be equal to 0. Okay, now, let's proceed to our product. Let's multiply square root of 3 times negative square root of 3. Now, remember, coefficient times coefficient, radicand times radicand. This will give us negative 3. Now that we have our sum and product, let's use the formula x squared minus sx plus p is equal to 0 and substitute the value of our sum and product. So, substitute tayo. It will give us x squared minus 0x plus negative 3 is equal to 0. So, let's simplify our sign. So, this will give us x squared minus 3 is equal to 0. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. And that is it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have comments, questions, recommendations, suggestions for my next video, please leave them in our comment section below. Share this video and subscribe. And for more videos like this, you can go to my channel, Teacher Justin. And that is it for today. Again, I'm Teacher Justin. Goodbye, God bless, and stay safe. See you on my next video. Peace.